go. Let's get into this. I am so hyped. Do you know I had my message already written out? And I contacted Tamika and I'm like, Tamika, so what is everybody's content? Like, what are they talking about? She's like, I don't know. I just have like basically the synopsis of what, their topic is. Do you know I was listening? Well, I don't know, how many of you are speakers in here, but usually when I speak, I write out my message, I record it, and I listen to it. So last night I'm in the shower and I'm listening to my message and I'm like, that ain't it. That's not it. So I had to go back to the drawing board, get out the shower, rewrite the message, and re-record it. And I said, okay. And I don't know if y'all noticed, but as LaDonna was talking, I'm like, I'm up next. The internet went out. So I'm texting Tamika. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Like, it's time to go. God is going to move because I'm telling y'all, you guys are a special group because he had me go back and rewrite the message. And Tamika was all in my message. I had to keep telling her, you in my message. You in my message. So I am on fire today. Let's go. So one of the things I want to talk to you guys about is repotting. First, before I even start, I'm always going to challenge people. I tell people all the time, I am not a cookie cutter therapist. Okay, I'm going to challenge you and push you. So if you show up to events like this, you should always have a pencil, paper, and pen with you. Why? Because you be on point. I love it. I love it and I see it. Because the thing is, we get so excited about the speaker and we take it in. And then when we leave, it's like, what's a good speaker? And somebody like, what did she talk about? I don't know. She said a few things, but I don't remember. And the good way to retain things is always by writing it down so you can go back and reflect on your notes. Okay, so I want to start off with my topic being breaking the cycles to grow. Okay, breaking the cycles to go. So I want you guys to say it. I know I can't hear you, but I want you to say it anyways. When I have outgrown, it's time to go. When I have outgrown, it's time to grow. So when I was thinking about this, I looked up repotting. Right? And so when you garden, when a person repots, it's because the plant has outgrown the pot it's in. It's no longer big enough for the plant to grow. And so many times we stay comfortable, which I call stuck. And when we are comfortable and stuck, we are scared to move to other environments, right? Some of you are in the place right now in that pot and you have outgrown that pot and you need a bigger pot. And that pot, what I call it is people, places, and things. Many times we have outgrown people, places, and things, and we stay stuck and we won't go anywhere. See, I'm a big teacher on when you know better, you do better. But when you know better, you just don't do better. You go out and teach better. See, many times people want to teach you based on somebody else's story, right? Well, Tamika said, she grew up in Pomona. She went through this, she went through that. And I'm going to tell you Tamika's story. I got a problem with that. See, can't nobody tell Tamika's story like Tamika. Can't nobody tell you about Saniyyah like Saniyyah, even though people try to tell my story. And I be thinking to myself, I don't remember that. But you think you know my story better than me, right? But I believe when we know better, we do better, and we teach better. And the way I teach is by teaching from my own experiences. Because I love to share my experiences to help other people grow. So when I have outgrown, I knew I had to go. So many years ago, I was among a family member. And so when I would go spend time with them, I started to realize like I wasn't getting anything from the conversation. I wasn't no longer benefiting from the relationship. So I went to my husband and I said, you know what? I love this person, but I feel like I have outgrown them. And so he said, you're being judgmental. Now, let me tell you something about people. Sometimes people make you feel bad for outgrowing people, places, and things. And many times you have to tell them, I know you don't understand, but I have to go. So he said, I feel like you're being judgmental. So then I thought to myself, am I? But every time I went over there, I'm thinking we're talking about the same things. We doing the same things. We watching the same things and going to the same places. And I felt like when I was in the company of that person, I was on autopilot. Anybody that knows anything about me, I'm an intellect. I like to be challenged mentally, right? And so if you're not doing anything for my mental space, you're not doing anything much for me at all. It doesn't mean I don't love the person because I still love you, but it's time for me to go. I have outgrown that situation. Then maybe a year later, My husband comes back to me and he says, I see what you're talking about. I'm like, oh, so now you have the same experience that I had. So you can't listen to other people's opinions based on you outgrowing places, situations, things, and people. When you feel like you have outgrown a place, it's time for you to go. I'll give you another example because it's my life and it's my experience so I can share it, right? So I'm going to give you another example. I remember fresh out of grad school, I got a job at the county of San Bernardino. It was way under my pay grade, and it wasn't in the field of my degree. So when I got there, I said, I'm only staying here for a year. I had already had a plan. I don't know where I'm going in a year, but I know I'm not staying here in a year, right? I knew I outgrown the place before I even got there, right? It wasn't for me. And so I remember going to work and telling people like, oh, I'm only staying here a year. And different people would tell me, everybody says that. I've been here 10, 20 years and plus, and we all said we're leaving and we're still here. And I looked at them and I said, I don't know about you, but in a year, I won't be here. And in a year, I wasn't there. And so many of you are even stuck in jobs. You're stuck in those places and you're scared to move, and you know you have outgrown that job. You know you have outgrown that relationship. You know you have outgrown some things and old habits, but you won't move because of fear. This takes me into my next point. I want y'all to say it with me. I can't hear you, but I want you to say it anyways. If I want to grow, I have to let the old me go. Ooh. If I want to grow, I have to let the old me go. At first, we had to be repotted. We had to get out of that small environment, that small pot, and get into a bigger pot. But if I want to go, I have to let the old me go. And if I have to let the old me go, that means I need new seeds. I have to plant new seeds. So one of the first things I want to talk about is those thoughts. The thoughts you have to let go. And some of you are going to say, what is she talking about? Yeah, I'm talking to you, the negative thoughts. You have to let them go. And many times when we talk about, letting things go, I used to love this because we used to always say, if you want to grow, you got to let some people go. You do have to let some people go, but you got to look self in the mirror and say, I have to let the old me go. I have to die of the old self if I want to elevate and I want to go somewhere. I have to look at me and challenge me. You have to plant new seeds, right? So I want to talk about the negative thoughts. And when we say negative thoughts, people think, I'm not suicidal. What is she talking about? I don't have negative thoughts. Tamika may have negative thoughts, but Saniyyah don't have negative thoughts because it's easier to look at other people than versus looking at ourselves. Because when we say we got to let other people go, yeah, she too negative. Yeah, they drama. Yeah, they this, they that. So I have to let them go. But we fail to look in the mirror and say why we need to let the old us go, right? So those negative thoughts that no one knows, that no one sees, that bitterness, that jealousy, that envy, that hating is what I like to call it, right? So many times we think because no one knows these are the things we thinking that it goes unnoticed, but it's only affecting us. And with the thoughts I'm talking about is when you see people, okay, I want to go back to this, right? So let me go back because I'm jumping ahead because I'm just so excited. But let me calm down. So one of the things I've noticed is when you purchase or buy a car, you begin to start noticing that same car everywhere, right? Everywhere. It's the same thing in our fields. When I see a therapist, I notice therapists everywhere, even if I don't know them. I notice authors everywhere, right? I notice business owners everywhere, speakers everywhere, right? Because they're in my lane. I identify with them. So I automatically notice them without even realizing it. Because just like that car, when you purchase a car, you then realize you start seeing the car everywhere. So this is what we do. So if you're a speaker, you see a fellow speaker online. You see them making videos. She keep trying to post. She just want a lot of engagement. I ain't gonna like her post. You see a speaker. I don't know why people keep asking her to speak. She don't even speak that well. These are the negative thoughts that we don't tell people. They just got a promotion. They're not even good at their job. This is what we think about. This is the hating that we do on other people, even at your job. You notice the people that are in the same position. Why? Because they're at the same meetings. They work in the same building. They're in the same department. But instead of pushing her, you look at her and you say, I don't know why she got the promotion. Can I tell you, when I see people in the same lane as me online, a lot of times I just like they stuff when they go down my timeline. I didn't press play. I didn't hear what it said. I don't even know what the message is about. But I have common sense enough to know when I like they stuff, when I comment on they stuff, it goes back in the algorithm, which allows more people to see it, right? Because when you plant seeds, what you plant, what you sow, you will reap a harvest, right? So when I plant seeds, I like to plant positivity. When I plant seeds, I like to see other people's win. When I plant seeds, I like to plant positivity, because guess what? What I plant will come back. When I plant positivity, it will come back. When I want to see somebody win, it will come back. When I want to see somebody go forward, it will come back. But guess what? The benefit or the crazy thing about seeds, it goes both ways. Planting seeds goes both ways. Because when I plant negativity, that negativity is coming back. When I hate on others, that hating is coming back. So we got to be mindful of what you plant, right? So I don't look at people like when Tamika said when she went out to lunch and she basically said she only wanted water because she didn't have money, and I still poured into her. Why? Because I pour into people the same way I want you to pour it back. I push positivity because I want positivity back. When people gossip about other people, I shut it down, because when I'm not present and they gossiping about me, I want it shut down. You got to give what you want. You got to plant the seeds that you want. So if you want to grow, you got to let the old self go. Stop talking about other people and saying how they messing you up and you don't want to be around them no more because they're not beneficial to you. Are you beneficial to you? Because if you're speaking negativity and if you keep doing negative things and planting negative seeds are going to reap a harvest, and that's what you're going to see in your life. I always say your life is a reflection of your decisions. So if you keep going through the same thing all the time, look at your seeds. Which takes me into my next point. If I want to grow, I have to let some old conversations go. Y'all probably didn't like that, huh? If I want to grow, I have to let some old conversations go. So we went into repotting, to planting the seeds, to watering, right? I believe in relationships, you should go two ways. They should water me and I should water them, right? Because in order to grow, I have to be watered. If you think about a plant, if a plant is not watered, it dies. So many years ago, because I like to use my own stories, right? I like to use me as an example, right? So years ago, people would call me all the time with their problems, and I'm giving advice and I'm speaking into people, and this person is pulling me from over here and they're calling me over here and they calling me about other people's problems and what they got going on and what happened and didn't happen, and I'm just tuned in. And my husband stopped me and said, Saniyyah, yes? Do you realize that everybody that calls you with their problems? What I notice is no one calls you to pour into you. I'm helping everyone with their problems, but no one is calling me to pour into me. By the show of hands, because y'all, I can't hear y'all because y'all mics are mute. How many people pour in, but it's not coming back? So I said, okay. So then I realized that I needed a tribe to come back. I needed people to pour into me, right? And so my conversations begin to change, right? And when your conversations begin to change, it brings forth a new type of tribe, a new type of people. Because let me tell you something in this world. Everybody needs a tribe. But I don't want to discourage you, because if you don't got a tribe, you got to learn to encourage yourself until you get the tribe. Because every encourager needs encouraging. I don't care how strong you are. Every powerful person needs a powerful house around them. The worst thing ever is to be a powerhouse and you don't have any powerful people around you. Everybody's taking until you're depleted. So I had to learn that I had to have conversations where the water was being poured both ways. That when they leave the conversation, I don't feel depleted. I'm left with nothing. I had to learn that I had to surround myself with people that had wells to give me water. If you want to grow, you have to let some old conversations go. You can't be God for everybody. You cannot be everybody's problem solver. People get mad at me because I say I teach men and women how to fish. I don't give it to you. I will give you instructions on how to do it. I don't want you to keep coming back to me asking me to do it for you or how to do it. I'm going to give you the advice, the skills, the instructions to go get it yourself. But I also need people around me that's going to give me the skills, the instructions, and the advice to give it for myself, to get it from myself. Right? And so when you change those old conversations or you let those old conversations go or die, you then begin to involve yourself with a new type of tribe because you begin to attract what you are. So in closing, if you want to grow, you have to look comfortability and fear in the mirror and say you have to go. Until next time, as I always say, continue to break cycles. And I want to just leave you guys with this because this is my third book that I just recently written. It's called Love Goals, A Healthy Blueprint to Relationships, or A Blueprint to Healthy Relationships. You can get it on my website. I want you guys to go check it out. I don't believe in just entertainment. I believe in teaching people. I read, but even when I read, I don't read for drama. It has to teach me something. It has to teach me something. When I watch something, it has to teach me something. I don't believe in wasting time. So when I read or when I write a book, it's going to be entertaining. You're going to be engaged, but I guarantee you're going to leave because you're going to leave knowing that you learned something. So thank you, Tamika. It's always a pleasure. I was hyped up. I hope y'all was just as hype as me because this word touched me when I was in the shower that I had to get out and put it on audio. You guys be blessed. And again, as I always say, Angela and Tamika, thank you.